Welcome to the Wild Type Podcast. I'm Neptune the Chameleon.
I'm Lyssa Lizards.
And we're your reptile girlies. Well, ladies and gents, welcome back to another Tuesday.
Woohoo! Happy
Unless
Tuesday.
you're watching this on Wednesday.
Or Thursday.
Or Friday.
Or Saturday.
Or Sunday.
Or any of the days besides Tuesday.
Monday. Whatever day of the week it is, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode. Should we start with Grey's Anatomy?
Which, frankly, I'm surprised we've never started with Grey's Anatomy before.
'Tis the season for Grey's Anatomy. Season 22?
Oh,
22.
Why are you looking at me?
I
You know that better than I do.
I realized when I looked at you, you were giving me no help. So I was like, I'm on my own. I think it's season 22.
It's definitely over 20.
Yeah, I think it's
I know
it's
that
20,
for certain.
22. But you talk about reality TV.
Yes.
And I was just talking to some people today, and they were talking about Love After Lockup.
Love is Blind is really hot right now.
One that was called Cheater.
Okay, that is like TLC level reality show, which I am not even in that orbit.
And so they were going on and on about all these different
Yes.
shows. And I pipe in because they're like, what about you? I was like, I'm more of a Grey's Anatomy girly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Grey's Anatomy is its own tier
No, it totally is.
of TV, especially if you're
absolutely.
still watching 22 seasons later.
Yes.
Because one of the girls was like, I haven't started it. And some people are like, well, you have to be like committed.
Yeah.
Like, are you down
No.
for 22, well, 21, going on
Grey's-
22 seasons?
Grey's has never been a show that you can just like pop into and be like, oh, like I'm just going to pop in and like watch this season. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. You have to understand the lore of
Which there's
all
a
the
lot.
seasons that came before, which is
Like, sometimes I'll get Grey's Anatomy clips that pop up.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot
that happened.
Because that was like years ago.
It's like, I forgot they dated. I forgot that this person died. I forgot that this person.
No, like I met
whatever.
my college roommate because we were from the same hometown and both watched Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, I
like
love
that's
that.
what got us together,
Yeah,
right?
that's
One of
cute.
my best friends that I met post college, we would have Grey's Anatomy nights like every Friday night and would like rotate
Yep.
our apartments and like get pizza, get whatever, you know,
Yeah.
like
And you guys still do that virtually sometimes
Yes.
too. Yeah.
absolutely. And so I'm like, Grey's Anatomy has been like such
Totally.
a part of my life that like I don't even think I could. Like, I know you used to watch and you
Yeah.
stopped watching, and a lot of people
A lot of people have.
are on
I feel
that.
like
I feel like it's a part of like,
it's a part of the Grey's lore is
Yeah.
that I think I find it fascinating because I personally think that Grey's Anatomy, like, I think that because there's all this lore that happens in like the early seasons and like whatever. And like you said, there are a lot of people like myself who watched for a good chunk of time, but a lot of people fall off, which I think is cool because I actually think there's very few shows in the span of television that we have in 2025. There's very few shows that I feel like people have a phase of that show. Even when the show has continued, and there are some people who, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel like
it's
the CIS or
CSI,
I was like,
CSI,
what? CSI, like those types
Yes,
of shows,
100%.
like you can
Yes.
kind of do that with.
yes.
Yeah.
But it's rare. Like, I feel like a lot of shows, you're either in it or you're not in it, or you like, there's just not a lot of shows that have gone on for so long that you can drop off and it still be going. You know what I mean? Usually,
Oh, yeah.
usually most shows, what I'm getting at is that usually most shows, you know, last 8, 9, 10 seasons, and people will fall off at season like 6 or season 7 or whatever. And there's like 3 seasons. It's like, no, there are people who fell off of Grey's Anatomy at season 10 and we're
Yeah.
on 22. Like,
Yep. It's
like,
still going.
yeah.
Yeah, Shonda Rhimes, the creator,
Yes,
right? As it
she's
says,
brilliant.
created by whatever.
Brilliant.
We are on a first name basis because something will happen. Like, Shonda,
What are we doing?
like, come on, Shonda. Like, what's going on?
Get it together.
So, anyways, season 22 had recently started. By the time we're like filming this, when it'll come out a little bit more into the season. But if there are any Grey's Anatomy girlies and you are still in it, 22 seasons later. Like, we just had our 100th,
her
and we're
up.
like, if you've seen every single episode
Yeah.
of the podcast, I'm like, but if you've seen
Every episode of
Grey's Anatomy,
Grey's.
including the musical episode, because that was trash.
That was rough. I was still watching for that. That
bad.
was rough.
so bad.
Rough.
Anyways, so yeah, I just wanted to do like a quick plug.
This actually makes me giggle because I did see a TikTok recently where some girl was having her man watch Grey's Anatomy, and she was watching, and she was watching
like
it
the
from
reaction.
Yes, and they hit the musical episode, and it was his reaction to the musical episode, and he was like, "What is this?"
And I watched Glee.
Like, I liked Glee.
I'm not opposed to musicals
I was a Glee person
or
for
musical numbers, but like this happens in a lot of like shows that are like getting close to 10 seasons.
Yes.
They'll just throw in a musical episode. Like I think The Rookie.
Yeah.
If you've seen any episodes of that, like I think they did a musical number one time.
One,
just because the actors can sing does not mean
the one that will forever leave me just like laughing, and something that is so ridiculous, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer has a musical episode, and it's insane. They created a demon, because the whole premise is like she's a vampire slayer killing demons, whatever. They literally wrote in a demon that forces people to do musical numbers. And I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
Of all demons.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Like, I mean, it's a hilarious episode, but it's just like the Grey's one where you're like, why are we doing this?
Just skip it. This is not necessary.
Are we doing this? Well, the Buffy one you can't skip because the storyline is actually like very important.
No, I'm pretty sure you can skip the Grey
You can skip the Grey's one. But the Buffy one you can't even skip because she has like this like monumental like coming,
great.
It's ridiculous. And I'm like, why are we having this big of a realization on a musical number episode?
That's how they get you to watch it, though.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Another important news in the month of November, by the time this episode comes out, you have your Halloween nails.
Halloween nails after Halloween. So sorry, y'all.
But
they are really
before
cool.
Halloween in real time.
Yes,
so.
it is. It is like, but I will say in y'all's defense, if anybody is annoyed at this, that I am showing you my nails this late, I am also annoyed at myself because I definitely was late on this. I was just holding on to my last nail set because they were so
but these
cool.
are good, and you're gonna hold on to
really
these
cool.
until the next one.
No, I'm gonna get these redone probably around your birthday before Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
So that's my plan.
Okay.
But
I'm
so what these are, they're pretty
Talk us through.
pretty freaking cool. So a reminder, our Halloween party, Logan and I's Halloween party, is spooky forest theme. What we're calling it is the Grim Garden Party. So that's what we've called it. So we're building forests and trees and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of bugs, like glow in the dark bugs happening. So I went with a spider theme this time.
And this is like unique for both of us because you have the same type of design on all fingers.
Yes.
And I have different designs on each finger.
Yes.
So this is very like flip-flopped of what we normally do for our nails.
And I will say, I did try to have every single nail be different, and Rosie told me no.
Okay.
So that's why we have this. So Rosie is the reason I don't have them every time. But okay, so basically what it is the tips, it's almost like an ombre French, right?
Yes.
But instead of the white French part, it's the holographic silver. And so what she did ombre black on the tips and then put the silver holographic ombre on top of that. And then she did a spider on a black spider on each one with a little like web coming down, so they're like attached to the tips of the nails, which
They're
are
very
so
cute.
They're so cute, and they're flashy,
And they're
which we
nice for
love.
like both directions. Because
Yes.
some like, so I have like Jack Skeleton, right? But you have to look at him this way. So like if I'm seeing him.
Yes.
But like yours work for like.
either way.
Yeah.
Either way you flip them, they go, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for the garden theme. And so I just kind of went with that. But I did send her 5 different pictures, and I was like, Rosie, I'm kind of obsessed with all of them. Can we do one on each finger? And she literally responded back. And I love this girl because she is so real with me. She just goes, I don't think they look good together. And I was like, okay, thanks, Rosie. Which one do you want to do?
Thanks for your input. I'll just see myself out.
And she and I have this understanding where if she doesn't like it, she doesn't do it. And I'm honestly like, good for you, girl. Like, don't do the designs that you don't want to do. I get it. I don't like it.
My nail girl and I have the exact same taste, or we are not close enough yet for her to tell me she doesn't like that.
I've been going to Rosie for nearly 5 years at this point, so I think that's why. But it just made me giggle so much because we just have this understanding where if she doesn't like it, we don't do it. And I don't push back because I'm like, stand on business. Go for it.
I will say, so never have I ever had a nail tech take a picture of my nails, which I feel like is like
that's a moment.
Peak coolness.
Yes.
If they want to like take a picture.
Well, because if they want to promote that work, that tells you it's
legit.
Cool.
So she was showing me an inspo picture, not the actual nails, of nails she had just done a couple days prior.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, have you done a lot of Halloween nails? And she was like, people are going for like solid color, so not doing cool designs. But she had this like Day of the Dead sugar skull nails. And so me being me, I'm like, well, if you think mine are cool enough, like feel free to take a picture.
That is the most you thing I've ever heard.
She did not take a picture. I was like, that's okay. It's fine. I think they're cool. I'll take a picture.
This is why, in case anybody ever wanted to know why you're the recruiter at our expo booth.
So if you think they're good, nope.
I'm dying.
I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
Meanwhile, sometimes I have to stay at my appointments longer because they'll have a whole photo shoot.
I'm like, these are cool nails,
those are
man.
sick. The fact that she didn't take a photo of those is very confusing to me because those are, in my opinion, some of the coolest nails you've ever had. I think they're incredible. I think they're fantastic.
Anyways, more to come on the next nails we get done. But up next, we have a baby update for the baby chameleons who are now 5 months old.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Wild. So they are starting to get their colors. Make sure you follow my account, Neptune the Chameleon, if you're wanting to see pictures. I do see some of the reptile girlies come in there. Yes, which is always fun for me. So
we're starting to learn some of your names, and we're started we literally are starting to see the recurring reptile girlies in the comments, and we appreciate you ladies so much.
1000%.
And the dudes too. But
yeah, there's a few of you.
There's a few of you.
We see you. We appreciate you.
We see you, and you are also a reptile girly.
But I'm looking for new homes for them. Yes. So that's been the latest adventure.
Which is kind of an adventure.
And okay, here's the
it's
thing.
A lot.
We're gonna be honest for a second here.
This is a hard job.
People have asked me, "Oh, are you gonna breed again?" I was like, "Well, so far I've just had to deal with the babies. I haven't had to deal with the people." So I was like, ask me when I get done.
Ask me after I've talked to the people.
All the people interactions, because it's not just so people had to fill out an application and people could fill them all the way back from September of last year.
Yeah, so it's
when
been
the first clutch was laid, because I'm like, hey, if you're interested, just go here. And it was really good for me to have somewhere to point people to. So I've been going through and I had a bunch of applications. And so a lot of people are like, you know what, I got a different chameleon, or I'm no longer interested because it's been a good chunk of time or life circumstances or whatever. Right. So it's just been very interesting to see, who's a good fit. And then males versus females. Male panther chameleons tend to be more desirable than the females because of the colors the males have. And
having to care for a chameleon laying infertile eggs, all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah. But the thing is with egg laying, at least for chameleons, the only one I can really speak to, is if your care is solid, if they're healthy, it's not a big deal.
It's really not an issue.
But you hear the horror stories
of the people who don't know what they're doing,
who have sick females, who have metabolic bone disease, who are laying 60 plus eggs every other month. And I was like, yeah, that's a nightmare. But Venus lays 20 to 30 eggs twice a year with no problem. Truly, no problem. I went on vacation one time while she was laying eggs, and I'm like, you go, girl. She's like, I'm good. See you in 2 days, whatever. So anyways, I feel like the females get a lot of, get a bad rap, whatever.
We need the girlies to have homes too.
Yes. So I have 4 males, 4 females that came out of the first clutch. I'm keeping 1 male Triton. Yeah. He's very cute. So that leaves
cute.
3 males, 4 females, up for grabs. So the males are already spoken for, but there are some females, and I do have the second clutch available. So I have some people who are on the wait list for that. But if any of the reptile girlies are interested, the second clutch will be shipping December, January. Yeah. So just fill out the application on my website, and I'll get in touch with you. But it's been fun, and I'm excited, and I don't think I fully emotionally, mentally processed
which you're not going to until all the babies are gone.
Giving them
just warning you, it's gonna hit you smack in the face.
I'm an empty nester.
No, you're gonna feel like you're a mom whose kids have all gone off to school. That's 100% how you're gonna feel. Yeah. And it's gonna hit you smack in the face when you don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. to take care of them, and you're gonna be sitting there oh, life has changed.
Yeah, we'll have all this time.
I know, because this has been the last. I mean, granted, this has obviously been going on much longer than a year. You've been trying to breed them and all this stuff for much longer. It's been years in the making. However, the actual like caring of the babies and the breeding specifically and the eggs and all of that has been a year.
Yeah.
Like
a lot.
That's a whole year of your life.
Because I was like doing all the enclosure work, right? Like I was like prepping all those.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like when I think about how you have spent your time in the last year, I think, oh, she's been chameleon breeding. Like that's like
I know people be like, oh, like you know, I'm like,
this
oh,
has
I have
been
multiple
the year,
jobs.
This
and
has been the year of the babies.
I'll separate chameleon breeder from content creator because I'm like, those are like
two totally different jobs.
Just like how podcasting is totally separate from that as well.
Yeah.
They also have separate LLCs, but you know, neither here nor there. But you know, so it is a lot of work. It is very exciting. I think at this point I can like see their personalities, which is a lot of fun. Not so much with the younger clutch because they're all little chickens and hiding from me, but I can tell
we'll get there
of the older 8 of like, you know,
which ones are a little bit more
who's a little more defensive and like I'm gonna come at you versus like I'm gonna hide from you versus I'm just chill, you know, who are like the really good eaters, who are a little pickier. I'm trying to get them on dubious and super worms, just like introducing new bugs because they've been on crickets up like in fruit flies and everything else up to this point. So more to come. Please check them out on
very exciting.
If you're interested, fill out an application.
We're so excited.
You can put in there your reptile girly.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
A few of you, I know a few of you have applied, but
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy just knowing that reptile girlies could be getting Neptune babies.
That's what I'm saying.
That's so special. Yeah. I love it.
So speaking of babies and chores, I had a catastrophe.
Oh,
how did I write this? Cricket
escape is what you said. So I was thinking just like I was like, why are we talking about this? Was my question. Not because it was invalid, but because I was like, crickets escape. In my head, I was like, crickets escape all the time. I wonder what's different about this one. Like that's what happened in my head.
It's bad. I want everyone.
Is it 1,000 crickets?
Yes.
No!
I want everyone to go back in time to where you shared the story of all the little baby spiders because these were not big crickets. These were the tiny crickets.
No.
The like 1/8 inch size, teeny tiny, one size up from a pinhead cricket that the 2 months old are eating. I had dumped literally 1,000 because it was a whole container labeled 1,000. So I know it is literally 1,000. I had them all in there with the calcium on my little like bench working station I have. Then I was dumping fruit flies. So then there was probably like a few hundred, if not 1,000 fruit flies in there. And as I was shaking fruit flies, I knock over the entire cup. Not a single cricket left in the cup. So they are all over my floor. And this is in my like supply closet. So they're not just on the floor. They are in like the boxes of stuff scurried. And what do? I feel like I'm you. Because I'm like, where are the paper towels? No time for paper towels. I'm telling you, these crickets move fast.
They're very fast.
And like I tried like scooping.
Meanwhile, also, one of the ways that they're worse than spiders is that they can jump.
Oh, yes.
So scooping does nothing.
And they're so tiny.
They're so tiny.
So I scoop and I very quickly realized that's not going to work.
No.
So then, having just heard your conversation, I was like, well,
here we are.
Here goes nothing. And I just started stomping on all the crickets that I could.
We're going to start getting hate comments for being bug killers.
I probably squished maybe 100 of the 1,000.
That's fair.
So there's still probably 900.
I'm sure there is.
And they were like in all the boxes and in all the supplies.
No.
So.
Question, did we tell boyfriend this?
Yeah. He left for an hour. We were like hanging out. He's like, oh, I got to run back to my place and grab something. In the 1 hour he was gone, I dumped 1,000 crickets. So he was not there, which I feel like is probably, I think I would have hit it.
Was he unfazed?
Kind of. He was like, oh. And I was like, but they were the small ones. Could you imagine if I dumped 1,000 of like the bigger crickets?
Or also, could you imagine 1,000 doobie roaches?
It could have been a lot worse.
It could have been so much worse.
But he's like, so they're just going to be all over the house then? And I was like, actually, I think these will be like, because there's so many nooks and crannies in my supply closet. Yeah. What's going to happen is
also, once... they can probably find a lot of food in there.
That's why I'm like, those guys are chilling.
Yeah,
But this is my plan. Once all the babies are gone, I'm going to have to like pull out everything from that.
Because every single one that dies in there is going to start smelling.
So I'm like, we're just going to have to do like a deep clean because who knows what's back there anyways.
Yeah,
But
rough.
that's what I meant by cricket escape.
Okay, that was fair. That was super fair and super valid. That is
Just
not
like-
your average cricket escape.
Everywhere. And like statistically speaking, that was bound to happen.
I mean, yeah.
And
like,
I'm a clumsy person.
But this is why I had to ask if boyfriend was unfazed, because he should be.
Yeah, he handled it very well. And this is what I'm saying. If he had been at my house when that had happened,
Yeah.
like, because he's not like in the reptile room, he would probably been like on the couch or something. I think I would have just like so quietly just been like,
Versus me being like,
but you had to have help.
I had to have help.
There's no
I
way
was
around
not
that.
Okay. Also, it wasn't my fault, so that was part of it too.
This was like in a matter of seconds, they were all dispersed and gone. I was like,
So-
well, not much I can do with that about that.
So I will admit to something I wasn't really planning on sharing, but it pertains to
Does it have to do with my house or your house?
my house.
Okay.
You're fine.
Because sometimes you pet sit, and so I was like, uh-oh.
What did you do in my house?
So those 1,000 dubias I mentioned, that happened. I'm like, oh no.
So there was a time, maybe like, this was maybe like a month ago. Let me think. When was in ARBC Dallas? Yeah, this was probably...
Yeah, it would have been a month ago.
About a month ago. So about a month ago, I had gotten 1,000 superworms in
I
a
also
cardboard
got
box.
1,000 superworms,
Yeah. So
which I still have some of those.
so
Shout out to superworms.
yes, we love superworms. They live forever. But I had a box of those, and I had dumped about like, I want to say over half of them. I dumped like over half of them like into a container, but I had like not had another container that I needed to put the remaining ones in. So I like had taped the box back up. I forgot that I needed another container. So I like forgot that they were in the box for like,
Did they all die?
they all escaped.
What? Did they chew through the cardboard?
And so,
Like, where's the superworms?
and so guess how this was discovered? I was sitting up in the reptile room. I was like doing some chores. I was like, misting the critters, whatever. Logan had just come into the reptile room to chit chat with me from his office, which is like right around the corner. So he had come in there and he was like sitting on the couch, and I was sitting on the floor. I had just filled like the mist bottle, right?
Yep, I'm following.
And I'm sitting on the floor, and I glance over in one of my rugs that's under the table, and I see like 8 superworms. And I was like, okay, that's odd. And so I like look at it, and I just like, without notifying Logan, I'm still talking to him.
Yes.
And I just am like, I'm in autopilot reptile room mode. Like that's we just get in our mode. And so I just immediately start picking them up, and I just like put them in a cup. And then I kind of like glance over, and I see another like 6 on my ottoman. And I'm like, okay, interesting. And I just like keep it moving because I'm painfully aware that Logan is sitting on a couch that like might have superworms over it. And so I'm sitting there, and then that's when it hit me, the box. And I was like, oh. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh. And so I just calmly and casually walk over, and I like pick it up, and there's a gaping hole in the bottom of it. And I'm like, okay. And then I just continue to walk around and just pick up bugs until Logan finally looks at me and he goes, where did that come from? And I was like, so probably about 300 of these got out. I don't know when, because
You're gonna have beetles.
I forgot about, I know. I'm just waiting for the beetles.
Let's like educate a little. If you're unfamiliar, superworms are beetle larvae.
Yes, they are.
And so what happens is they go from worm to alien.
Yeah, it's like this weird, true alien looking thing.
Superworm larvae in the pupa
Is
stage
creepy.
literally looks like an alien.
It looks like an alien.
They turn this like cream
Cream color.
opaque color.
Yeah.
And they like
They like shrivel up
into this like squiggly with this big old head thing. It does not look like a superworm. So the first time you discover one without knowing what it is,
terrifying.
it looks like an alien infestation.
Yeah.
They go from that to a black beetle.
Yes.
It is the most like
it's crazy.
Contrasting thing.
At no point in their
Life cycle.
Insect life cycle phases do they ever look like each other.
No.
It's polar opposite.
And the only way for a superworm, and I'm not a super breeder, but to my understanding, is the only way for a superworm to turn into a beetle is to be isolated by itself. So if you have them in their box or container, you're good. You're not going to
they're not gonna
hatch into beetles. They'll just die and smell. But if you have them dispersed, they will most certainly find a corner and most certainly hatch into beetles.
Yes. By now you've heard us talk all about Scratches, the social app that helps exotic pet owners like us find their people.
You can add photos of you and all your scaly babies, set your filter to reptiles, and start scrolling through your local pet parents who get it. Think of Scratches as your way of avoiding the ever-looming "so do you have any pets?" question. Whether you're looking for friendship, romance, or someone who can pet sit your critters, your community is just a new match away.
Download Scratches today and start connecting with reptile keepers in your area. Available on iOS and Android. Okay, Neptune, I gotta know. Are you the type of girl to hit up Black Friday sales, or are you not that big of a shopper?
I'm not that big of a shopper, except for the Black Friday sale, because I've been waiting all year to take advantage of those deals.
When it comes to Pangea, I hear they are going to have some pretty big sales going on.
Yes, on November 18th all the way through December 1st, take advantage of all the deals. This is your chance to stock up on your UVB bulbs.
And also, if you want to check out their sales on their reptiles too, maybe you could get a little bit of a pre-Christmas gift.
Treat yourself over at PangeaReptile.com.
We're so excited to introduce the Reptile Girlies to our favorite reptile-friendly coffee and tea brand, Cold Blooded Caffeine. Our favorite thing about them is that they donate 5% of all their proceeds to wildlife conservation to ensure reptiles and amphibians have a place to call home in the wild, as well as in our homes.
And if you know me, you know I'm obsessed with herbal teas. So for any of our fellow tea lovers, they source some of the highest quality loose leaf teas in the world.
Cold Blooded Caffeine offers a wide variety of coffee like their Rainforest Blend, single origin options, and collaborations with some of the biggest names in the reptile world.
For 25% off your first order, use code WILDTYPE at coldbloodedcaffeine.com. Yeah, so that's my situation. And I didn't tell anybody because I was embarrassed. And now here I am telling the whole internet. So
Because you're not alone.
that's why, because you just made me feel better. So
Also, speaking of like boyfriend bug things, and he listened to some episodes, but not episodes. So sorry, honey, you may want to fast forward through this one. I'm experimenting with different cups for the babies with different bugs, right? Because like I've been using little Pangea plastic cups for like a little blueberry for the flies, but that's not sturdy enough for like worms to not crawl out of or roaches. And if a chameleon tongue's like hitting it, it'll knock it over.
Yes.
So what I got was metal condiment dishes that are like reusable, that are a little bit taller.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let me just try this out. And so I put some small dubias and I was like, oh, they can't climb out. The babies only had a couple of them, so I pulled them out. They were sitting on the ledges. My boyfriend's in the reptile room, like in the evening, I'm like running around doing stuff, and I look up, and on the little metal condiment cup is a dubia on the side of it. And I see it, and he doesn't like roaches. Like, he's like a very big animal guy, but like most people, roaches freak him out. He's like...
Which is fair and valid. We
so
get it.
I look past his head, and I see a dubia on the side, and I was like, uh-oh. Because I have to grab that, right? I can't leave it.
Obviously.
Also, kind of to what you're doing, I don't want him to see.
I was literally trying to move about the room, picking up worms while like not letting it show what was happening.
Yes.
That was everything I was trying to do.
That's what happened. So I'm like, So I just casually walk over to where my feeding tongs are. And I'm just like, excuse me. And I like go past him. And then I like grab the roach. And he was like a little flushed. He's like, oh, sorry. Am I in your way? Like, da-da-da. And I'm like,
so
no,
considerate.
You're fine. You're fine. I'm just trying to get this roach before you see it.
Excuse me.
I put it in the cup. And he's like, oh, it's fine. I'll just go out. I'll leave you alone so you can finish up. And I was like, okay.
Okay, anyway. So I will say, in Logan's defense, I didn't need to tiptoe because as soon as he realized what was going on, he like looked at me and he was like, do you want me to flip the couch over? I was like, yeah, actually, that'd be super helpful instead of you freaking out. Thank you. And he goes,
he's married. He knows. He knows.
That man knows what he signed up for. Okay.
We've only been dating 6 months. I got it easy.
But I was like walking around being like, because he was like, he had come into the reptile room to tell me something. So he was like on one of, there are times when I'm going on the tangents and there are times when he's going on the tangents.
Like, that's nice, honey.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. There's one. Get it. Like, that's what was going on in my head. And then he finally was like, what did you just pick up? And I was like, nothing. What do you mean?
No, the amount of times I've left the lid of my hornworms open
every time.
And then I have hornworms on the floor.
Because they're so slow moving. You don't
but
think
those
you have to worry
suckers
about it.
can climb
They
anything.
can climb anything.
They will end up in places you did not think was possible.
Mm-hmm. But I will say, I may or may not. I would be willing to bet that I'll have at least one beetle. But I do think I got 99% of them because we flipped over the whole couch. We shook out every blanket, every rug, everything. So
Time will tell.
We'll see. We're going to have at least one beetle. I'll let you guys know when I find it, but we'll have at least one.
Brad the beetle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you guys have it. Just life as female keepers. But that truly is the essence of the podcast.
No, 100%. We couldn't be more on brand right now.
So then you can either laugh at our lives or you go, me too.
Yeah. Or both. You're allowed to laugh even though it's also been you.
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes that's all we can do.
Absolutely. Okay, I think the last thing we had was story time.
Yes.
And so some of this may seem repetitive.
Yeah, just
because
a little.
There have been over 100 episodes now and we talk a lot. So what we're going to be going through is just kind of like story time of all the times we've gone reptiles together.
Yes, which
is most of them.
Yeah. we wrote the list before this and we were like, oh, that was like, I was like, that's 60% of my reptiles.
Yeah, mine's like 80%.
Yeah.
So we're going to go in chronological order. So I think first up is Pluto.
Yes.
My crested gecko.
I know.
Which a lot of people don't realize I have or forget that I have. But yeah, Pluto is 9 years old now.
That just freaked me out.
In January. So
no, that's crazy.
I think January. Yeah. So I
he
got
was
him a year and a half.
A year and a half.
And that was January
God, sometimes
2019.
Sometimes it freaks me out how long we've been friends. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. When you said you and Logan were married 5 years, I was like,
yeah, that freaks me out.
I'm like, I knew you for years.
Before that.
Before you met.
No, I know.
Before you met Logan.
Know. It's wild to think about. Anyway.
Yeah, because I purchased him at a year and a half old.
Yeah.
So like I already knew he was male. He was already like, good size.
Yeah.
He like got a little chunkier, but like, pretty
filled
well
out.
established.
Everybody fills out a little.
Yeah. And so I'm sure we've told a lot of these stories at one point, but also a lot of you admitted in the 100th episode that you rewatch a lot of episodes.
I know. So we were like, oh, dang.
So just pretend that's what's happening.
Yeah. But also, now here is all of these stories in one concise.
Yes. And you can see trends in them and you can be like, that was interesting. So Pluto was an interesting one because I knew I wanted to crest a gecko.
Yes. And I remember you went into that expo being like, this is when I'm going to buy my crested gecko.
Yes.
Like you went into that expo with a plan.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So I knew I wanted a crested gecko. I knew I wanted the name Pluto.
Yes.
Because I was like, ooh, Pluto could work for a male or a female. And I was expecting to buy a baby. In which you can't really sex a baby very well. It's like not until they get older. Yeah. To no one's surprise, I picked a Dalmatian crested gecko.
Shocker. What?
And I went, oh, sorry, I feel a burp. I went with my boyfriend at the time, now ex, to be clear.
Not current.
9 years ago.
Yeah.
Or not 9 years ago. He's 9 years old, but you know what I'm saying.
7 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like things were a little, you just know.
Things were rocky.
You just know when you're like, don't think this is my person.
Well, and what's funny is you and I were not close enough at that point for me to know that. Because
oh, really?
At that point, you had not told me that you were like uncertain about this man.
Uncertain's a good word.
We didn't know. I was unaware of this, but I picked up on the energy.
Oh, really?
I did.
I'm so curious on your
I don't know.
perspective
I
on
genuinely
this.
don't know if we've ever like talked about this, but I remember leaving that expo and being like so excited for you and the pet, but I remember being like, I don't know about that one. Like I remember having that feeling of being like, I don't know if this is the guy. I don't know. But at the same time, I also didn't quite know you well enough to be able to make that judgment.
Fair.
I remember having the thought of being like, I don't know.
My point in all that to say is that he offered to pay
Oh, I forgot about this.
for Pluto. And I was like, no.
Which that's when you should have known right there.
Because I was like, I don't think this is going to be long term. And I would feel weird if I have this gecko for the next
That
20
you
years.
paid for. Hey,
Knowing that my ex paid for it.
I have one reptile enclosure that was paid for by an ex-boyfriend, and I like really want to get rid of it just because I'm like, I don't need that.
Bad juju.
Yeah.
No. So I don't know. Do you have any takeaways from buying Pluto as far as like the pet purchasing experience?
I think if I'm remembering correctly, you got him from the same breeder that I got Scoopy from.
Yes.
So that was from the same breeder. So that was pretty cool.
One thing that stands out is I got an 1836
Yes.
enclosure.
Right from the jump, which was unusual back in 2018.
And you thought I was crazy.
I did. I was like, that feels super unnecessary. But okay. But that was back when the like
it was like 12 by 12.
12 by 12 by 18 was like the norm back then.
Yeah.
And so I had my crusty monkey at the time.
I think I had him in something around that size. Whatever is like, I guess that would be like 12,
18.
24. Yes.
12, 12, 18.
Something like that. Yeah, I had him in that. And I was like,
No.
so, and
Yeah.
at the time I only had Neptune and Pluto. So I was like, I have the space to just like.
And I think the reason I thought that was so crazy back then was because I think I had just upgraded from the 12 by 12 by 18 to the 18 by 18 24. And this was when I had them in the 30-gallon conversion kits.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I was like, I just upgraded from a 12 by 12 by 18, which everybody said was the norm back then, to a 30-gallon. And that was considered a little bit like, oh, that's a lot.
And I felt so bougie. I was like, I'm going to get the skyscraper.
Yeah.
Which was 1836, which was this massive thing. And you helped me, if you listen to our DIY background episode, like do that for the first time and whatever. So that was the first pet I think we got, like, where we were both there for.
Yeah. It absolutely was.
Yeah.
100%.
But there was no, like, convincing or talking into or whatever, because I was like.
You, like I said, you went into that expo.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
So anyway, so is the next one our road trip?
Or was it Luna?
Was Luna before or after the road trip? I can't remember.
Luna would have been 21. 2021.
Okay. No. So Draco and Drusilla were first.
Okay.
Because that was 2019.
Okay. Then yes.
Yes. Okay. So the next one, which we have talked, I think we've mentioned this many times in several episodes, but we had something that I think was pretty monumental for our friendship. It was the summer of 2019. And I was looking at getting satanic leaf-tailed geckos. And this was something that I was like very, very interested in and had been like researching for a long time because I loved that species. But I never really thought that I would actually get any because it was one of those where I was like, I would love to have these animals, but I don't think it's ever going to be possible because they're so often wild caught. And so I had ended up in like this Facebook group, and it was some kind of like satanic leaf-tailed Facebook group. And somebody in a city that was like, how many hours away? Was it 5 hours away? Yeah. So somebody in a city 5 hours away from us had posted in this Facebook group being like, hey, I'm moving. I'm trying to get rid of this pair of satanic leaf-tailed geckos.
For a good price.
For a good price. It was essentially like 2 for the price of 1 is literally what the deal was. I think it was, that's what it was. It was $500 for 2, which is like crazy for satanic leaf-tailed. They usually go $450 each. And so at this time, and so I was immediately, I hit you up and I was like, any chance you want to road trip with me tomorrow and do a day trip back and forth?
Was it that short notice?
No. It was several days.
Yeah.
Like, I think we drove down there on a Saturday, or was it a Sunday? I think it was a Sunday.
I'm not going to remember that.
I have terrible memory, but I weirdly remember. I think it was a Sunday.
Okay.
Because I think I had kind of come up with that plan on like Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I think I invited you on like Wednesday. So it was very short notice. It was like a few days. And you were like, sure, like, let's go. And I was like very excited because I was like, okay, well, great. Like, at least I like will have somebody to like chat with and like stay awake. But I remember being nervous for that road trip because we knew each other, but we weren't like tight yet.
We were
like,
at the time reptile friends.
Yes.
Like we would go to expos together
Yes,
and we would talk about reptile
we would, like,
stuff.
Go to the local reptile shop together. Like we would
Yes.
do like reptile only things.
It's like when whatever place you meet someone as a friend,
Yes.
right? Whether it's like through work and you do like work things together
Yeah.
or it's through a hobby, you do hobby things. But it's when that friendship branches out from the
Outside.
initial way you met that makes or breaks of like, are we just like hobby friends or work
Yeah.
friends, or are we life friends?
And I think it goes along with like just, you know, like you just said, I'm basically repeating what you said in a different way, but it's basically just like, are you friends outside of this one interest
Yes.
that we share?
And this was
Or-
our moment because
Yes.
up until this point,
We
we
were
were
just
just
reptile
doing
friends.
reptile activities.
Yes.
And so then we were about to sit in a car
For 10 hours together
in a single day.
in a single day.
And if you're not friends after that, like that will make or break it.
Oh, yeah, there was no chance. And it's crazy to think about in hindsight because like that was so much more make or break than I thought it was in the moment when I invited you, which is so crazy.
Like, oh yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you didn't like need me to go. Like
No,
those small geckos. It's not
no.
like you were moving a big enclosure or whatever. It was just solely for like
Companionship.
The company,
in the
yeah.
car. Yeah, I just wanted somebody with
But that's
me.
when we like talked about like life experiences and like things that we're interested in. Like you were talking about your friend group and I'm talking about my friend group. You're talking about your
Yeah.
family. I'm talking about my family. I don't think either of us were really like dating anyone seriously at the time.
That was when I had this one like
Like I said, seriously.
yeah. But I specifically remember that instance because I remember springing on him like the night before. I was hanging out with this guy that I was like very casually dating, but I really liked him. And I remember the night before being like, he asked me like, so what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like,
Driving 5 hours
to
one
go
way.
pick up a couple of geckos. And he was like, what? And I was like, what?
Who said that?
What do you mean?
No, that was really, really special and really
Yes.
sketchy
It
because
was so sketchy.
we are 5
We
hours
showed
away.
up to some man's house 5 hours away from
And
our
he's like,
home.
Come on in.
And we're just like, sure.
And he's like, the geckos are over here.
Where you could also be murdered.
The house was empty.
It was because he was moving.
The house was empty.
But it was sketchy.
Except for the geckos. He's like, here they are. Bon voyage.
Oh, that was
And
so
then we drove
nuts.
all the way back.
All the way back. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that one was a trip.
So then we got Luna. I say we got. Yeah, that sounds right.
That's about right.
But Luna was a package deal.
I feel like Luna's my baby. Like, I feel deeply attached to her.
She's
So-
my oldest reptile right
Yes.
next to Pluto. I got Luna with Apollo, who was my male Christopher Chameleon. Luna's the female. Apollo passed away at like 3 years old. Freak accident. I think one time we talked about like
Yeah.
the deaths we've experienced and whatever. But anyways, besides the point, got them together. That was from our local reptile shop. And that one was crazy because I dropped mad money.
You dropped mad money. And this was back when, like, I was still, like, not making much money at all. And, like, I, like, not to, like, get into finances and stuff, but I remember being like, wow, you're dropping that much money? That's crazy.
It was over $1,000.
That was one of those times where I was looking at you like, whoa, what are we doing? I was so impressed with you in that moment. I really was. I was like, we're doing this. Okay. Like, I was very excited and hyped for you, but also like, I don't think I could do that.
So that was like, I think also a really big deal for our
it was a big deal.
friendship and also like animal purchasing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? Because like I remember
Yeah.
talking to like my mom and being like, should I? And my mom's like the best and worst person to talk to because she's like, she's like, does it bring you joy? Do it. Can you afford it? Go for it. Like she'll just like totally talk you into it, which like
I can so see that.
can be like a good bad thing
Yeah,
depending.
yeah.
But you also got to witness my decision making
Yes,
process for the first time.
This was probably the first time I like really witnessed your decision making process because with Pluto, it was already made up.
Yeah, you weren't really
wasn't
included
involved.
in
Yeah.
that whole process. It was like, hey, I'm going to go do this.
This, like, I was heavily involved in your
Where
decision-making
that was
process.
like, should I, shouldn't I? And I do think part of it is because, like, it came with a hefty price tag.
Yes,
it was 2
absolutely.
animals.
Yes.
I was very much intending to breed them.
And very important note, you're a very frugal person. So you making this decision was a big deal because you don't drop money easily
No.
or at all.
Like when I buy a car, apparently.
Like-
but even that was a multi-month thing.
Yes.
But I visited the shop multiple times. We went together multiple times. I would debrief with you after I
Yep.
talked to like someone who was familiar with Christopher's and bred them. I was like, hey, this is everything that they said. Here's what I'm thinking. This is my plan for the enclosure. Like you were so involved in that process.
So involved. And that was the first time I think between both of us that like either one of us was heavily involved in the decision making. Because like Draco and Drusilla picking them up, like, yeah, it was like a long drive, but I had already made up my mind.
Yeah.
Same with Pluto. So this was
Yeah, you're like,
the
hey,
first.
these are a really great deal. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm like, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
like I wasn't asking you, but this was like, you were asking my advice. I was like helping give input, but I was also like treading lightly. And I was like,
Yeah, one of the first pictures I have of Luna is on your hand.
I know, it's so cute.
Yeah, because I was I was like, that's not my hand. Oh,
Oh yeah,
that's your hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so funny.
Yep, that was a really special one.
Yeah, and then after that, I think it was Hazel, right?
Which is like the first snake.
This was my not only first snake, but boa constrictor, which was a big moment. And that was something you had said because you were also involved in this decision-making process.
Yes, Hazel was an expo purchase.
Yes.
You did not go in
Nope.
to that day.
Nope.
We went just to, usually we went for supplies.
Yeah, it
right?
was just
At that
a
point,
supply shopping
we
trip.
were like baby content
Baby.
creators. No one knew who we were.
No.
We were just going in to like hang out, get supplies, get feeders, see what's what,
Right.
and like that was it. But we saw these Hog Island boas.
And in hindsight, like before that, I knew what Hog Island boas were, but I knew them to be incredibly rare, hard to find, and not often bred. And I also knew them to have issues with like interbreeding with normal BCIs. So I knew that it was even rarer to find like a pure Hog Island boa line.
And up until this point, we talked about this recently of like you seeing the big snake for the first time as a kiddo. And like at this point, anytime we saw a boa,
My eyes lit up.
you got super excited. I would
Yeah.
immediately pull out my camera,
Yeah.
like, and you were just glowing. And
Yeah.
it wasn't like you wanted to hold them. You were asking questions. Like
Yeah.
you were super excited. And this had happened like at least 3 times.
At least.
Up until this point.
Yeah.
So like I think your heart had like a soft spot for
Totally,
boas.
totally.
But then this is like a smaller species of boa. So you're like, oh, okay, this is manageable.
And it was one that, like I said, up until this point, like I had only known them to be like rare, hard to find, this and that.
Yeah.
And they are. To this day, they still aren't bred very often. and that's
Coincidentally,
hard.
at this show, there were 2 breeders
Yep.
that had Hog Islands. So you saw the first one.
Which
and,
was
like,
Hazel.
Yes.
Hazel was the first one that I saw.
Yes. And we spent, at least 30 minutes,
At least talking to that breeder.
if not longer,
Yeah.
asking questions after question. And I'm the friend standing there going, oh, what's happening?
You're like watching it progress.
Yes.
You're like seeing the wheels spinning.
Yes.
And like
And this is why I do think if you're able to have a friend
it's
who's
incredibly
familiar,
helpful.
because
Yeah.
then I'm like, oh, like when they don't hatch their life birth, but I was like, when's our birthday, whatever.
Yeah.
He's able to answer that. I was like, oh, that's a good sign. When was the last meal? And you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. I was like, well, did you know when the last shed was? Just like those types of questions, because when
My
you're
brain
in that
was not-
headspace,
Yeah.
especially when you didn't go into it being like, I'm getting this thing
Yeah.
today.
When it's more of an impulse purchase, which we've talked about this, impulse
I think we
purchases
should
aren't
use
always
the word
bad.
spontaneous.
Sure. Spontaneous purchase. Spontaneous purchases aren't always bad. They are, we can get into this at another time, but it's just, they're not always bad. But when you're in that mode where you
Yes.
might be going
You
towards
have
doing that.
so many emotions and
So
so
many
much excitement. And
feelings.
you're like,
Yes.
So it's good if you can have a friend who can be like
Yes.
level-headed and asking those
and
questions.
just like check you. Like I needed to be checked in that moment. And you did that in a very great manner.
So we're like, we're going to walk around, see what's up. Then we see the other Hog Island boa and very quickly realize Hazel's like
way prettier.
way nicer looking.
Way prettier. She had all this like definition in her tail.
Yeah.
Like her tail pattern was stunning. stunning.
Her colors, like
Incredible. But the other breeder, it was like her tail was just like brown. And I was like, well, that's lame.
and they were like the same price.
Same exact price. I
I was like,
this is
okay,
stupid.
that's a no-brainer.
Well, it also made me wonder. I was like, is this one like mixed with BCI? Like, what is like?
Do you sell reptiles? Be sure to check out the Palm Street app, a place where you can have your very own live auctions to help find your reptiles amazing homes in a community full of thousands of reptile lovers. To apply to be a seller, go to page.palmstreet.app/reptile.
They prioritize ethical breeding and trading practices, ensuring all reptiles on their platform come from responsible sources. Once approved, Palm Street's reptile team will guide you through every step, from setting up your reptile shop to going live for the first time. You'll get hands-on support to sell confidently, safely, and responsibly. Okay, Neptune, what are your top 2 feeder bugs for all your critters?
Dubious for protein and black soldier fly larvae for lots of calcium.
Simpton offers a wide variety of insects like silkworms, dubia roaches, waxworms, and our favorites, black soldier fly larvae.
I've also heard the entomologists at Simpton have customized the diet of their black soldier fly larvae to maximize their calcium content, so there's no need to dust them with calcium.
So if you're interested in trying them out, use code THEWILDTYPE at SimptonBSF.com for 15% off your order. Are you looking for a new enclosure for one of your reptile babies? Be sure to check out Cages with a K. Each enclosure is made to order by their team in Minnesota, which means they can even do custom builds.
The enclosures are made from high-quality PVC with tempered glass doors allowing for superior heat and humidity retention. They offer screen tops, side vents, and belly heat customization options to ensure the ideal setup for any environment.
So whatever dream home you want built, Cages has you covered. Use code WILDTYPE50 to get $50 off any order over $300 at reptilecages.com.
So at this point, we reach lunchtime.
Yeah.
Because we're hungry and we've been at the show for a few hours. So I'm like, okay, let's just get some food,
Think about it.
debrief. And I distinctly remember this part of the conversation because at this point,
I don't
you
remember
were
this.
Lyssa's lizards. Yes,
Yeah.
you do. Once I say it.
Okay.
And then I was like, but you didn't have any snakes and you were also single. And I was like, okay, for all my reptile girlies, you get this. I was like, once you get her, because you were very much at that point like decided. I was like, once you get her, you are now a snake keeper. Which in the world of dating, most people are pretty chill with lizards.
For the most part. Yeah.
You know, but most people can get down with the lizards and the bugs.
Especially the cutie geckos and like
And
whatever.
they could be like talked into it, whatever. There's a lot of people who are like, never,
Absolutely never.
ever will I have a snake in my home.
And
like,
much less a snake that actually has the accolades of a boa constrictor.
right. So I'm like, just so you know, girl to girl to single girl, I'm like, you are now in a different league of
You're
dating.
in another category.
Yes.
Are you ready to be, I think you said something along the lines of like, are you ready to be not just like a snake girl, but a boa girl? And I
Right.
was kind of like, yeah.
Which, like, I knew was not going to deter you.
No, but you
I
had
think
to
it's
ask the
just,
question.
I think it's just good to be like,
Yeah.
I'm good with that, right? Just like when you bring your first reptile, you're like, okay,
Again.
now I'm a reptile keeper.
I needed a gut check.
Yeah.
That was it. And it was perfect.
This is one of the shows where you drove. So I also distinctly remember having Hazel
In your
in
lap.
my lap in the little,
In her snake bag.
Yeah, that they have. And I could like feel her like
You're like,
wiggling
"Oh."
in my in my lap. And I was like, hang on, we're almost home. So yeah, Hazel was a fun one.
Oh, that was a good
And that's
one.
still your profile picture in
Yes.
my phone is you with like just like holding Hazel. Yeah.
It's very exciting.
You still have like a side part.
Oh my
Hazel's
gosh.
like a little peanut. So
Yep.
it just, I never update people's profile
I don't either.
pictures.
I
I'm
keep
like,
them OG.
I'm like, this
Yeah.
is how I
Remember
met you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I want to encapsulate that forever. That's
Yeah.
important.
Who do we have after Hazel?
Taz.
Oh, Taz. Oh, we've talked about this story
This
before.
one's funny. This
Yeah.
one was your birthday dinner. Mm-hmm. So we had, I forget why, I had been thinking about Taz for a hot minute because our local reptile store had posted him on their Instagram. And I immediately was like, oh, that's a really cool snake. I would really love to have a scaleless corn snake. And I had like looked into scaleless corn snakes specifically and the ethics involved, which are always important. And so I had like looked into them and I was pretty dead set on like, I think I'm going to get it. And so I was pretty sure. And I think that the store had like 2 of them maybe. And so I was kind of like deciding, and you went to the store with me. And I don't think we were thinking that we were actually going to like buy him that day, but for some reason we did. And I don't remember the details of that at all.
I don't either. Was I there?
Were you there?
I don't think I was there.
You weren't there. but I was going to your dinner after, which is why. So I think you knew that I was going to get it.
Yes.
And so I rolled up, and I think I had thought, and this is classic me, I think I thought that I was going to have time after going, like, buying Taz to going home. I thought I would have time to, like, go home and, like, drop him off. Nope. Did not have time.
So she rolls up to my birthday dinner, which there was, like, maybe 8 people?
No, it was bigger. It was like, no, it was like 12 people at least.
Oh,
it was like
more friends then.
No, I remember. I mean, that's what happens when you enter your 30s. But you know what I mean? But there was at least like 12 people because I remember sitting at the end and I had Taz in his snake bag up my shirt because it was freezing in this restaurant.
Yeah.
And so I was like so concerned. I obviously couldn't leave him in the car. And so I had him like up my shirt. And I think I had texted you and been like, I'm bringing the snake.
Oh, for sure. I knew.
Don't tell anyone. And so I'm sitting there at this dinner with him like in my lap.
Didn't you tell my friend though, who was sitting next to you?
I think I told somebody because somebody kind of like witnessed it, because at first I wanted to just bring him in my purse and I thought that that would be like warm enough. But then I realized after getting into this restaurant, and this was in November, so I realized after getting in this restaurant, oh, this place is freezing. He's going to freeze on the floor in my purse.
Yeah.
And so I had to reach over and like pick him up and put him in my shirt. And I think the person sitting next to me, and I don't remember who it was either, but I remember they were like, and I was like, I just got a snake. And they were like, what?
It's okay, because all your friends know me
as
the reptile friend, and so it goes both ways.
It wasn't weird. We were each other's weird reptile friends. And so everybody knew that like that was our friendship.
Yeah. You're the chameleon girl, right?
Yeah, oh, you're her friend that also has snakes, right? Like
do you have iguanas? You have iguanas, right?
Oh, you're the gecko girl. Oh, like the amount of conversations we've had with each other's friends that look like that. Like crazy.
Absolutely. Okay. After Taz,
it was, I have to look back at my list, Scooby.
Yes.
Which, as we mentioned, Scooby, we got from the same breeder as Pluto.
Yes. So that was an expo purchase. Mm-hmm. Also kind of in the moment.
Yeah.
Chihuahua geckos were on your list.
Yes.
Of like reptiles you would like to own one day. You already had New Caledonia gecko. Yeah. So like
at this point, I already had a gargoyle and a crusty. So it was like,
and I think you had a spare enclosure.
I did.
And everything already. Mm-hmm. So we were like looking around, looking at all the different animals on the booths, and like got stopped in our tracks with Scooby because of how stunning he was.
Yes.
And like Chihuahua geckos are like moss kind of color.
They're often called like the mossy prehensile tailed gecko is like another common name for them.
And Scooby stood out because he had the classic like darker color,
body,
but he had these beautiful reds and these light greens,
and he had these like the reds were really in his cheeks, like in his head, and so he's got these really pretty reds like right around his cheek that I just really fell in love with.
That was a very quick decision because we saw him. I think we did just like a quick lap.
This was also a smaller expo. Mm-hmm. This wasn't like our usual like huge NARBC. This was like one of the smaller ones. So like a lap was like
20 minutes.
Max,
like
15. It was like a very short lap.
Yeah.
And so like we had walked in, saw Scooby within like 10 minutes.
Yes.
And then did a lap and we're like, yeah, we're going back to that gecko.
Yeah, that was a very quick purchase.
Very quick.
That didn't really have like a lengthy conversation or anything.
And because we knew that we had purchased Pluto from this breeder, we trusted the breeder. So it was also like, okay, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. And like you also have seen so many other Chihuahuas
at this point
that when you see one that's just like stunning, then you're like,
mm-hmm. It's not like a Hazel situation where like you never see them. It was like, oh no, like I see them all the time.
This was a really beautiful one.
This was stunning, and so I snagged Scooby.
It was an easy one.
Brought him on home with me. Okay, after Scooby is Tarzan.
Yes,
this one was fun. This one was fun.
We've talked about this story recently.
I can't remember when. I know.
Yeah, because we talked about Logan coming and then not coming.
Yes.
And whatever.
Yeah. So Tarzan was a Morph Market find.
Yeah.
So I found him on Morph Market like years and years ago. And this was back when Morph Market was like not as good. Like it has changed. It has gotten,
it was very like Craigslist equivalent.
It was a Craigslist equivalent back then. And so
it was like reptile Craigslist.
Yeah, it was like a little bit sketchier, like a little bit uncertain. And so anyway, so I found him, and this was one of those situations where I had been really interested in yellow anacondas for a while. But it was one of those things where like I had interest, but I didn't actually think I would ever have one, right?
Yeah.
Like I was very realistic about it. If anything, I'm a realist. And so I was very realistic of like, I didn't think I would ever find one.
I think Tarzan was the first one Logan was
Yes.
consulted on.
100%.
Yeah, because I don't think he was in the picture
No.
with Scooby.
Nope.
Yeah, okay.
This was the first one with Logan involved.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I had been interested in yellow anacondas, but I didn't think that I would ever find one. But on my, typical monthly classified ads scroll on Morph Market, I saw a yellow anaconda, and this breeder actually had 2 yellow anacondas. One was female and one was male. And so I think they were both unsexed, but he was like, I'm pretty sure this one's a male and I'm pretty sure this one's a female. And I was like, I'm going to need you to check that. And so, because
That's a big difference.
This is a big difference, my guy. I'm going to need you to confirm that for me. And so he confirmed it, and he was like, nope, I popped the hemipene. I know that it's a male, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. And I was like, where are we on temperament? Like, what does that look like? And he really, like, he was very convincing with me, where he was like, I'm handling this animal every day. They are very used to handling. They've been handled from day one, this and that. And I was kind of like, okay, this is a gamble, but this feels like my only shot, because I don't know any other anaconda breeders who are handling those animals every day.
Yes.
That was so rare and so uncertain.
And it was somewhat local, right?
It was somebody local, so it wasn't even requiring a ship, because again, back in this age of Morph Market, it was mostly local buys. It wasn't this was pre-COVID. So pre-COVID, it wasn't as common to ship reptiles. I mean, it's always been common to ship reptiles, but there were...
But we've seen a lot of...
improvement.
Like, yes.
And a lot of like growth.
Increased accessibility for like great shipping.
Yes.
All that fun stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was maybe an hour drive?
Yeah, an hour drive. So it was fairly local, about an hour away. So we set up the first meeting, and this was when I told Logan, like kind of before this, I was like, I started kind of prepping him like a few weeks in advance, and I was like, hey, like I'm considering getting a yellow anaconda. Thoughts? Like, it was like, if you're uncomfortable, because he and I had been dating for, I don't even think we had been dating for a year. This was 2021. Yeah, wow. Logan and I had been like officially boyfriend, girlfriend dating for maybe like 4 months at this point. So this was real early on for him. But he always liked the movie Anaconda growing up. So he was like, that'd be kind of cool. I was like, okay.
So Logan drove with us. And I mentioned this last time we kind of brought this up. That was a special moment for me, because that was the most like one-on-one. Obviously, you were in the car too.
Yeah.
So like, how we want to math that out. But like time for me to like spend with Logan and like really get to know him and like learn about him and ask questions, and also see the two of you together, right? Because I'm like the friend in the backseat that's like, hey guys, how's it?
And you're so like, you're adorable, because the way that you are when you meet your friends' significant others, you're just so inquisitive.
I always ask this question. I'm like, what's your favorite thing about her?
Yeah. Like but you're so intentional about it, and you're just so inquisitive, and you have like such good intentions, and you're literally just like, I want to make sure that you like my friend for the right reasons. Like, that is how you go into it. And that is like the pinnacle of like that question is like, what do you like about her besides the fact that she's pretty and nice and cool? Huh? What do you
Do you
love?
remember what he said?
No.
I don't either.
No idea.
But it was a really good answer.
Yeah, he did have a good answer.
And you were like a pile of mush in response to like, oh, David.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't remember what he said. We're going to have to ask him after.
Okay, but then there was part 2 to picking up Tarzan.
Yes.
Because part 1 didn't work.
The breeder like never responded and just like totally ghosted me, and then showed up in my DMs like 3 days later and was like, I'm so sorry, I had work and I totally forgot and blah, 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 blah. In his defense, though, again, this was like back when Morph Market was still in the Stone Ages. And so this was very
really
like
just like a chat.
It was also like some like obscure website that you had to be like, those DMs didn't go to your phone.
There's no app.
Yeah. And there was no app, and there was no like, and I didn't have his phone number. So these DMs really did live in like an obscure website inbox.
So the two of us go.
Yeah.
Because I think Logan was busy.
Logan was busy the second time around. Like,
so he was probably like, once was plenty.
Yeah. He was like, we're good.
So we go to an apartment complex.
Which is crazy that this man was breeding anacondas in an apartment complex, but anyway.
And then it was like his son.
The man ended up still not being there. for this
comes
meetup.
out with like a
tub.
tub with Tarzan.
Yes.
You get him out. He
Yes.
immediately bites you.
Immediately.
And then I'm like, let's get a picture.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting there having just been bitten by my first anaconda, only anaconda, but like
I was like, we need to document this
that
moment.
that truly is like one of my favorite pictures though.
Oh,
it really,
see?
really is one of my favorite like gotcha day pictures. Like, so I am very glad that you took it. It was
That's
perfect.
what I'm here for.
But it was like when he bit me, I felt so, this is so random, but I have short Achilles tendons in my feet. And so when I try to like squat down and like sit flat footed, I like can't, I kind of have to sit on my toes. So I was on my toes. And when he bit me, I immediately fell back. I remember immediately being like, whoa. Oh, that just happened. Okay. Anyway, picture. That was literally how that whole moment
It was. That's exactly how it went.
So
Okay.
bizarre.
Is
so,
Voldy next?
Voldy is next. Voldemort, my legless lizard.
Expo purchase.
Yes.
Also in the moment, but was on the
Spontaneous.
list type of thing.
Yes.
Not often found
No.
at expos.
And also not often found as like a pet only situation. So legless lizards are almost always wild caught. Oh, and Voldemort was technically wild caught, but I found him and he was labeled as like he had been parasite tested and or like he had been administered like the parasite medications
Yeah.
and stuff like that. He had been in a pet only home for about like 3 to 4 years, I think. And so he had lived with this person and been taken care of by the same person for, 3 years, all this stuff. So like all of those things made it a very unusual purchase. And he also had all this beautiful like red brown coloration on him that I hadn't often seen on legless lizards. So there were like all these things that I was like, okay, well, this girl who I would be buying him from isn't an importer. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
Because part of the reason I never thought I'd get a legless lizard was because I wasn't going to buy, one from an importer.
Yeah.
And so it was all these things lined up there where I was just kind of like, I don't really see this happening again. This seems like the right move.
I was very like
You were
hands
so
off.
You were so off put by him.
I was very much like, you're like, I really want him. And I was like, okay.
This was one of those where you were looking at me and you were like, I have no idea why you want that pet. Like
No.
you were genuine. All the other ones, you're like, I can see why you would want to get that pet. Voldemort, you were like, why aren't we doing this?
But you were like, I really want him. And you were asking all the right questions. And
Yeah.
like, he seemed like a really good like option and
Yeah.
all these things. And like, his diet was so similar to Nilla. And by the way, we're only talking about the ones where we got together. But like,
Yes.
Nilla was in our friendship
Yes.
time and whatever else.
Yes.
But like all those things like made sense. You're like, you already had room for him in your like Tetris of enclosure. So I was like, all the math is mathing.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
You were like, I have no reason to object other than the fact that I think he's really weird. Like that
Yeah.
was you were just like, he makes me really uncomfortable. Like that was your
but you were so excited and so overjoyed. So I was like, okay, I'll go with this.
you were like, fine, I guess. Like whatever.
Yeah, I was not very involved.
No.
But like I said, all the things were like
everything
falling into place, making sense. So like
you really at this point only get hyper involved if like you are concerned. I feel like if I were to get
That
one,
seems valid.
if I were to get one like a year ago, you would be like, what are we doing?
let's take a moment, pause.
Let's consider our life choices.
Let's put a pin in that.
Let's maybe put a pin in it, ignore it, forget about it for a year, come back and talk about it.
Back to it. Yeah. No, Voldy, and I really I remember the name choices with Voldemort.
Voldemort's name I sat on for like 3 months. I
Yeah.
didn't name him for like 3 months because I didn't know what to name him. I was like, you're such an enigma. I like don't know what to do with you.
Yeah, he was a
So.
good one. And then most recently we have Nessie,
Nessie's the last one.
speaking of Logan, was the first and only animal that like Logan was like there.
And which is why she's his favorite. I think she'll always be his favorite.
So Nessie was an expo purchase and like African fat tails,
Yeah,
like
pretty common.
yeah, and like similar care to leopard geckos. You love Charlie, and this is one of those where like very similar to Scooby, like you knew the care and whatever else,
Yeah.
but like truly just like a stunning animal,
Gorgeous.
That if we're like
Yeah.
looking at the tables, you go, oh,
She was the one on the whole table that like stood out.
Yes.
It was like that. She was the one that like it's one of those that you walk by and you're like, your eyes go straight to her.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay.
And it was a very quick conversation, I feel like, with
Yeah.
the breeder of just like, so I think you were like, I'm pretty sure with African fat tails, it's like this, and this, right? And they're like,
Yes.
yep, this. And you're like, okay, and for her enclosure, I would just do this, and this. And they're like, yep, right? Like, it was a very just like
all of that, but
gut check.
But the number one thing for me was the fact that this breeder, and we've talked about this before, her breeder is Huff's Herbs, who we love. And so he had provided a care sheet.
Yep.
That it was really smart because it was front was leopard gecko care, back was African fat tail care. And so I kind of like looked at, because I didn't know him at this point. So I like looked at the leopard gecko care and I was like,
To see if you're legit.
and I was like, oh, this is on par. This is really good. And so that was impressive. He also had every single gecko's container that they came in, that I still have in my reptile room, that had her hatch date, her weight, her literally all of her morph information. It was so detailed. Like, it was very clear that he took like great notes and things on his animals and on his breeding projects. And I was like, I can respect this. Like, this is like a good breeder. And he totally just like was so easy to talk to about it.
Yeah. You can tell Logan was very excited, and you definitely included him.
I included him in the conversation.
In like the decision making process. I think the big hurdle with her was just like your financial situation.
Yeah, it was like
at the time.
And it very much was like one of those situations of like, should I spend this money? Probably not. But do I have it? Yes.
Right.
So it was like one of those where it was like, should I?
And I think, you tell me if I'm right or wrong, was that around the time where you had surgery for Draco?
Oh.
Was that?
Let me look at my
crazy?
timeline. No, I think not Draco, but Drusilla's the one who had surgery. So Nessie was 22.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, wow. I had not put 2 and 2 together on this. That's crazy. So I got Nessie in April of 22. And so oh, wait, no. April of 22 is her birthday, not her gotcha day. I don't have her gotcha day written down. Her gotcha day, I'm assuming, would have been the September show, I think. So
we didn't get our NRBC.
Oh, you're right. It was one of the smaller expos. Okay, so maybe it would have been that spring. She would have been just a few, because I think she was about 4 months old. So I think it was that summer. It was probably like June, July timeframe.
That sounds right.
That sounds about right. So basically at that point, I think
I just remember I just remember the finances of all of it. I think if I'm remembering, it's obviously your life, not mine, but I think you had just dropped a few $100s on the surgery.
I also think Drusilla was already gone at that point.
Okay, maybe.
So I think it was also potentially an emotional decision that you were like, are we sure?
Yeah,
like, I
don't know. I just remember there was an element to that, and that wasn't present in the other decisions and other animals.
100%.
So I just remember I was like, "Oh, Logan's here. Yeah. That's new." And then there was this like, kind of like financial, emotional like piece of it as well.
It was because I had just dropped $500 on Drusilla's surgery, and then she also like didn't make it a few months later. So like, I think it was all of those things tied up that you were kind of you were gut checking me on like, A, are your finances in the right place for this? And B, are you emotionally in the right place for this? Yeah. I think those were the two factors.
Which is a different dynamic than we've experienced previously with other
where
animals.
Everything was in check. And like,
it was just like the care and the excitement and the like, okay, this is like a big deal. Okay, cool, let's do it. You know, like that. This was like, obviously you can care for an African fat tail. Like that's whatever.
I'm not concerned about
she's
the
a stunning animal. This is a great breeder. Like all of that. Like
lined up.
Yeah, no problem. I was like, but are you good?
Right. Like, are we okay? Which is the most valid of all questions.
And how much does his opinion matter?
How much does this, like, what is this guy even doing here?
Let's
Logan
be real.
was
Definitely boyfriend still.
He was so not even on fiance level.
He was still boyfriend.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Actually, you know what? Because we got engaged in 22, which is so weird.
But I'm saying at that point, still boyfriend. Soon to be fiance, but still boyfriend. But yeah, that wraps up all the animals up until
all of them
this point. Who knows what 2026 will hold in
Yeah.
regards to animals and all that. But hopefully that's a fun story time. I know this is a little bit of a longer episode, so I hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoy that. As always, you can check me out everywhere at Neptune the Chameleon.
And everywhere for me at Lyssa's Lizards.
Check out the podcast at the Wild Type Podcast. We've got merch, early access. I guess those are really it. It's like cute social clips and story posts.
Check us out.
Whatever. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye, girlies.